Hi guys, Sara Dhooma here, the Canadian Pellegrina in the news, and I'm going to tell you my story of what happened. So, yesterday morning I left the albergue, and for most of the morning the walking was like, it wasn't as nice as the rest of this Camino De San Salvador has been. Like, some of the previous stages, like, wow, so beautiful up in the mountains. Like, I was moved to tears by how stunning those views were. So many horses. Oh, they're so cute. Yeah, you just look on my other YouTube videos and then you'll see that stuff. Anyways, so I was walking, and I was getting close to the city of MIERES. And as I was walking, I could see a man was coming the other way. And so he's walking the other direction, which is fine. And then as he's walking the other direction, he kind of pulls off to the side. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. There's like a little gravelly kind of like pull-out place. And then he starts like fiddling with his fly, like by his pants. And he's looking at me and I'm thinking, is he taking a piss there? And I'm like, that's weird, but I'm like, whatever. Some guys are gross and they're just gonna pee everywhere. And so I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna walk past. And I turn my head and I'm just walking. And then I just think, you know, I'm just gonna quickly look back and see what that guy's doing. Well, the dude had moved positions by a few paces, was still staring directly at me and fiddling with his trouser area. And I was like, what? Did you have to go pee 2 times in a row in 2 different places, or are you weird? And I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I'm going to get out of here. So then I'm walking, and I get into the center of the town of MIERES, and I'm like, ooh, I need a cafe con leche. I need some caffeine for the next stage. So I pop into this cute cafe called Cafe Snoopy, because I hoped they were going to have like a Snoopy stamp for my credential, which they didn't, which made me sad. Anyways, I drink the coffee, and then I'm like, okay, continuing on. But I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, I got to get to Oviedo before the cathedral closes, because I want to visit the cathedral, and that's the end of the San Salvador Camino, and get my certificate. So I'm like, I gotta be in a big rush. So I'm heading outside of MIERES. I'm walking. I get to an area where you're along this kind of like, it's kind of like a highway road, but it's twisty and there's not so much traffic on it, but there is traffic. And so I'm walking, and then all of a sudden it starts to kind of rain, and I'm like, oh, well, you know, because I'm a YouTuber, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna film this great rain, and there's a nice valley view. So I pan my camera around, and as I pan around, I notice that on the barrier on the side of the twisty road, there's a man sitting there. And I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of strange. Maybe it's a bus stop or something, like, because it's in the middle of nowhere, like countryside. Why is somebody sitting there? And so he's sitting there and he's looking at me, and that's not unusual, okay? Especially when I'm walking around wearing my crown. People look at me all the time. It's just something unusual to see maybe a pilgrim this time of year. So anyways, so I walk up to where he is. And when I get to the point where he is, he stands up and he starts talking to me in Spanish. And I don't want to talk to him, because I look at him and I'm like, ooh, geez, that's a creep that from back there. Why the heck was he up there on that barrier? Was he waiting for me? Okay, this is now really creeping me out. So I just want to walk past him, but he keeps talking to me. And maybe I'm like kind of a polite person, because I think, well, maybe he's in trouble, maybe he needs help. Like, why is he talking to me? So I turn and like I say, no entiendo, I don't understand. And then he's like, wait a moment, and he takes out his wallet. He opens up his wallet and he shows that he has money inside. And then I don't know what he's saying in Spanish. I can only catch the words 20 euros, which is $20. And I'm just like, no entiendo. And I just want to keep going, because I'm like, okay, I just want to get away from this guy. So I start taking some more steps, and then he's still talking to me. Yeah, like, so I turn again, and then he unzips his pants, reaches inside, and takes out his penis. At that moment, I go, no, because I am freaked the heck out and I jump back a number of steps. Like, I am horrified. This is something disgusting and horrible and totally out of control. I feel very, 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 very unsafe at that moment. And then when he does that, he starts to move towards me rapidly. When he's moving towards me rapidly, I turn and I start running up the hill. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get away from this guy. I'm like, no, I need some proof for police. So then I turn and I take a video of him. When I'm getting out my camera, because I gotta unlock my phone and all that, he turns his back and he starts walking down the hill. But you can see clearly in the video, as he's walking down the hill, he starts to zip up his pants because, you know, he was coming at me with his penis in his hand. Like, it was insane. So I take this video and I take some photos of him, and then I think, okay, maybe like we're done here. And then I turn, and then when I put my camera away, he turns and he starts running after me. Okay? There's a man, this man is running after me. What do? I start running too. And I'm running. Every time I look back, this guy is chasing me. I don't know if he has a gun. I don't know if he has a weapon. I don't know what he wants to do. I'm in the countryside, running up a road with a man chasing me. I think I need to get safe. So I'm running. I run past some houses, and it looks like nobody's home. And then I see a house, and there's smoke coming up the chimney. So I'm like, somebody must be home. Somebody, please. Somebody must be home. Because I look behind me, and the man is still coming after me. So I go to this house, and there's like a divided door. One door is like open into the house. And so I start yelling. I'm yelling in the house. I'm yelling, police. I'm yelling, hello, police, hola. And then this man comes out. And there's a fence in between the door, his door, and where I was. And there's two pretty big dogs, like, going crazy at me. And I see this man, and he's still coming towards me. And I'm still like, help. I thought I was gonna die. I thought he was gonna hurt me. I didn't understand why he was coming at me. Anyways, man from the house came out, and I hid behind him to put the distance. I was it was horrible. So the man from the house, he put the dogs away, and I went into his house. When I was in his house, I could hear the other guy still shouting at me. And then the man from the house, he showed me an ID card. He's actually a police officer. So I ran into a police officer's house. Like, how does that even happen? So, what luck, eh? To run to a police officer's house. Jeez. And the police officer have a day off and be home. Like, totally crazy. Anyways. So, the police get called. They come. the man out there, he's saying he did nothing wrong. Obviously, he did things wrong. And I was taken to the police station to make my statement. And police officers were so nice to me. They were so wonderful. Coffee and chocolate, and they're very understanding and friendly and patient. I told my story a few times. Most important time is when the official translator came, and so I made a formal story and I signed a declaration. I gave them my 2 videos that I took of the man, as well as 3 photos I had taken of him, because, you know, I knew I had to document this. Like, I knew there had to be, like, no question something bad happened to me. And then the police took me to a hotel that I chose. So I'm in the hotel room now. And then I went to bed, and in the morning, before 12 o'clock, police came and took me to the courthouse, where I was met by another translator, a very lovely woman. And she sat down with me and she started reading through like victims' rights and explaining the court process to me, because I'm not familiar with it at all in Spain. Then they were very kind and were careful that I never saw that bad man again. Like they were always like if I needed to go to different rooms, checking to make sure he wasn't around. So I did not lay eyes on him, and he did not see me the whole day today. So after I sat with the translator, I testified in front of the judge. It was a courtroom with not so many people. There was my lawyer, there was the defendant's lawyer, there was the judge, there's the secretary, and another woman and translator. So I was very happy that there weren't a lot of people in the courtroom. And I should also mention that when I was going to the courtroom, there was press there, and they were trying to take my photos, and I like having my photos taken, but you know what, not in those circumstances. I was not in the mood for it. So I testified in front of the judge. I was asked questions by both lawyers. It's very hard to testify and go through the stories again. And then I sat and I waited, because then the bad guy, he had to do his testimony. My lawyer, a super fantastic lawyer. He wasn't a state appointed lawyer. He's a private lawyer that agreed to represent me. So thank you very much. He's a really, really great lawyer. Very, 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 very cool lawyer too, I might add. He's like a super cool lawyer. Anyways, I had a great lawyer. And then I waited for they made like a deal or a verdict. I waited for that to happen. And that came through, and there's a restraining order against the man. He also has to pay a number of fines. If he tries to come near me or emails me or posts on my YouTube channel or does anything, he goes to prison for a little bit. So I feel safe that he's not going to be coming after me or any of that. Translator told me in the documents in his backpack that they found a knife as well as bullets. So I don't know what his intentions were. Obviously not good. I'm glad he never touched me. I'm glad I was able to run faster than him, because he's not very fit and I am. He's been previously convicted of rape when he was younger. So this is obviously something he's capable of. I'm just happy that I'm safe, and I'm still in MIERES, and tomorrow I'm gonna continue on the Camino because I really want to finish the San Salvador. You know, I'm not gonna let this stop me. I didn't, you know, at first I thought, you know, the police were asking, do you want to charge him? And I thought, you know, how easy it would be to say no and just let it go and go on with my life and pretend it didn't happen. You know what? No, because if he got away with it, he'd be doing it again to another pilgrim along the way. He wouldn't stop. I had to do it. You know, it's hard for me emotionally. It's hard for me physically. I feel exhausted, but I just want everybody to be safe all the time. I don't want anyone ever to go through what I've gone through. And I'm gonna continue to keep walking in Spain this fall. I love Spain. I love the Caminos. And when I feel sad, I'm just gonna put on my crown. And you know, I do have a weapon. I do have a sword. So, you know, nobody mess with me. I love the Camino. I love Spain. It was just a very, very bad incident. And I'm glad in one sense it happened to me so I could take him to court. I'm glad it didn't happen to anybody else. I'm glad I was the one who made sure that man had there's justice. I don't know how to put it better. Okay. Now I need to drink a little vino and eat some chocolate. Bye, guys.